How to get a breastfed baby to take a bottle. I'm gonna give you all my hints and tips. I cannot promise you anything. Some babies are stubborn bubbers. You can try all these different things. My name's Ruth, I'm a health visitor in England. Let's get into it. First things first, I would be recommending letting them play with the bottle. No pressure here, there's nothing in the bottle. They're gonna play with it, so it's a familiar object. It's, let them play with it like a toy initially. So when you do start offering it with milk in, it's not this, whoa, what is this? It's, oh, I've seen this before, I've played with this before. They don't have the comprehension, but you know what I mean? They've seen it, it's not an unfamiliar object. Another hint and tip is to actually let them play with the teat on its own. Obviously, the smaller they are, the more of a choking hazard, you being there with them, but familiarising themselves with it, chewing on it, letting it brush along their gums. Hopefully, eventually they maybe learn to suck from it, but again, it's not an unfamiliar feeling in their mouth. Do not try offering when they're overtired or really, really hungry. They're just gonna get annoyed and it just may not work. Yes, some babies, they might, as a desperate last resort if they're absolutely starving, but what you might just see here is they whip themselves up into a frenzy, and we don't really want this to be associated with the bottle. So a good time to try is maybe when they've first woken up from a nap, they're rousing, they, obviously when they're laying in the crib, don't just suddenly push it in, but they're rousing, they're, waking, they're a little bit tired, they're a little bit sleepy. That's the time that maybe you can offer it and just let them try sucking from it, having done a bit of that previous exposure. Try lots of different positions, sat upright, with the television on maybe. We're not trying to necessarily mimic breastfeeding just yet. If they get the bottle, then we can start talking about paced bottle feeding and mimicking breastfeeding. Right now, we're just trying to expose them to it. So lots and lots of different positions. Try to let them latch from the bottle themselves. We're not trying to push the bottle into their mouth. Again, they're not gonna like that. Let them draw it into the mouths themselves. You can rub it on their lips. And this is where hopefully the exposure beforehand, it's not an unfamiliar object, but we don't wanna be pushing it in their mouth. They're just gonna get frustrated. Making sure that the person giving the bottle isn't the breastfeeding parent, because they're gonna smell it on you. Why would they take something different from you when they can literally take it from your breast? They don't understand what you're trying to do. So making sure you're nowhere to be seen, preferably out the house if possible, and giving them something that smells of you, maybe a t-shirt that they can hold and smell of you whilst or you're holding it around their face whilst they're trying to feed. Not like here, but you know what I mean. Trying different temperatures of the milk. Some babies actually prefer cold milk in bottles. Some babies prefer warmer milk in bottles. Distracting whilst offering, whether that's television on, whether that's like a puppet show, or another child that you can pull in to help, an older sibling, different people trying to give the bottle, not the breastfeeding parent. If completely refusing the bottle, try different cups, different sippy cups. It may be they just go to taking formula not in a bottle. From 4 months, you can even give it via syringe if that's a way you want to give it and get it into them if you're going to be away from your baby, or from a spoon.